Welcome back. That was Black by Michelangelo feat. Yomi here on MTG Radio. And if you just joined us, guys, this is Happy Hour with your girls, Angel and Audrey. Guys, please do get involved and share your thoughts. It is at Radio MTG and hashtag Happy Hour MTG, or send us a text message with your name to 079 449 77737 as we get into a hot topic. So today we discuss something which I mentioned earlier. It's actually all over the news at the minute, and it's quite sad. Audrey, what is this?
Well, we have all heard of the phrase, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, over the last month, we have been flooded with news of many migrants fleeing from Syria and other countries to settle or find refuge in Europe. This has included going through countries like, Greece, Italy, Croatia, and most recently Hungary. The mass movement, I would say, has created huge debates, in regards as to what to do with the thousands of people that are coming over, as they flee from war-torn countries. I don't think this is the end of it at all. I mean, just this morning we heard about more people coming over. So this all kind of came to head when a small boy died. I think he was 5 years old or 3 years old, and it was all over the news. He was traveling with his older brother. He was 5 and he was 3. That's correct. And he was 3 and his brother was 5, and their boat capsized, so they drowned. And this hit the news and created such a stir that people started changing the way that they feel about migrants. So this has caused many people to now actually welcome migrants, but with them huge numbers, it's just not possible to accommodate.
Right.
So, my question today is it always greener on the other side? Because while we are talking about migrants, this can happen for anybody. You can be leaving an old job for a new job with the hope of it being greener on the other side. You might have a dream that you've never pursued, but something is calling you to go towards that dream with the hope of it being greener on the other side.
Right.
So, I want to kind of ask, is it always greener on the other side? Because obviously these people are fleeing from war-torn countries to come here hoping for a better life. So that's my question.
Is it always greener? I mean, I must say, I'm so saddened about this situation. Is saddened even a word? Sad? Whatever?
Saddened.
Saddened? Okay, I've done good. It's so sad. It really is. And what's actually happening to people just like you and me, and it's truly heartbreaking to see young people just dying, babies just dying because they can't stay in their own country.
Yeah.
And I just hope that, no more lives are lost during this period. So, your question, is it always greener on the other side? I mean, I do think as human beings, it's natural to hope, for something better because we want more. And we want to grow, we want to develop, we want to learn. And wanting more means that sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to step out of what you're familiar to pursue what you want. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I once heard that you have to do something you've never done to get something you've never had. Now I do see some truth in that, and I do think that it's important to see and understand the reason behind why you are pursuing something. Now many people have had to kick down certain barriers to arrive at where they are today, and I'm sure it came with its challenges, and it weren't easy. And everyone has their own idea of what a green pasture is, that better place, or the promised land, if you like. And however you see it is how you would try to get there. And every promised land, I guess, has a Red Sea between. So how do you part that Red Sea? And that Red Sea obviously is a form of a barrier. It could be a language barrier. It could be what's wrong with my English today? Would you help me out? Inferiority.
Yeah, I say the word.
Inferiority complex.
You say yes.
Thank you very much. It could be an immigration issue, you grew up in a fatherless home, financially insecure, whatever it is, or whatever you consider as your Red Sea or a barrier, you need to kind of part it in order to get over to the next side. Does that make sense? But I think we need to analyse and really dig deep before we make that decision to cross over to that green pasture. And the reason why I say that is because it's not a matter of following fashion. Oh, so and so is doing this, so I'm going to do that. So and so's, you know, maybe a particular person's green pasture is, I don't know, DJing. And because that's what they are good at, I want to do that as well. Does that mean I need to cross over and potentially drown? That's not my field, but I'm following.
Okay, I get you.
You know, so I think before we try to move over, or we try to go on that journey to pursue our green pasture, we really need to give it thought. And is it really worth that risk?
Yeah.
You know, and I think obviously every promotion comes with its challenges, but we have to be wise with our choices and consider whether, again, if it's really greener on the other side. But, you know, the question really is, if we don't take that risk, how would we actually know if it's greener or not?
Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult because, like you said, people's perception of what greener means is different, you know, and it is something that we have to kind of figure out ourselves. But that being said, I don't think it's always greener on the other side.
Right.
You know, in relation to the topic that we are talking about, or the issue, I have watched many stories, and some people have said they wish that they never came here. That it's actually harder than they perceived it to be.
Right.
You know, I think there was one guy who said that his papers hadn't come through, and he'd been here for 10 years. And he couldn't work, obviously, because he didn't have papers. So he's kind of been scrounging and living off whatever he could. And that's 10 years of being an asylum seeker.
That's hard.
So it's not always green on the other side. You know, whether you are leaving one job for another job with hopes of it being greener, or maybe you may be going for a divorce and there may be children involved, and, you know, now you're going to have to be a single parent. And, you know, we all go through things that we perceive might be greener, but then it might not turn out the way that we wanted it to be. But I think the reason, like you were saying, that we go for these things is because of hope. And hope should be the fuel that allows you to take the risk of whatever it is that you're trying to get to. You know, there has to be a drive there. And that drive should be hope. You know, and speaking of immigrants, my parents are immigrants, and I'm sure when they came over, it wasn't easy. I think they came over like in the 60s or something, 60s, 70s. It wasn't easy, but it was the hope of giving us a better life, me and my sister, a better life, you know, that made them want to toil and work hard and work whatever jobs that they could get, for us to get a better life. So that was the hope that they had. And in essence, what I am trying to say is that although it may not be greener, you know, you should not give up. Still have the hope, because that hope will lead somewhere. And it's not, there are some people who will leave a place to go to another place, and just like that it'd be great. But then there are some people who will have to work harder, because you move from one level to another level, and that level has its own, you know, risk attached. So you have to work harder. But at each level you are getting better, if that makes sense. So I don't think, although it may not be greener, don't lose your hope or your faith.
No, I agree. I think you know, hope, I guess, is like fuel in a car. You know, the moment you lose hope, it's the moment your vision or your dream starts to fade away, and it actually becomes a joke. Have you ever let something slide on purpose because, you know, you didn't want to pursue it anymore, and just to make yourself feel better, you start saying stuff like, oh, it was rubbish anyway, or I wouldn't have got anywhere with that anyway, just to make yourself feel better, you know, or, you know, oh, thank God, man, that was too stressful. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that you dropping it will make how do I put this? Because I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
You know, we make excuses. We make just to make ourselves feel better. And you know, if you actually held on to that thing with hope, can you imagine where we could have actually been?
Yeah.
And I think we've all done it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe especially with job applications, you apply for a certain job and you are so hopeful that you're going to get it, and yes, you know, you start planning your days out and your timetable, and then you get the bad news, unfortunately. You know, well, you know, you start, you know,
on
just
to the next one.
on to the next one. And you know, I think I don't know if you've ever seen that sketch. There was a sketch, it was like a cartoon, and basically it's like a tunnel, and this guy he's shoveling away for some gold. I don't know if you've seen it.
No,
and as he's just near the gold, you can see the picture, he's walking back.
Okay.
He's walking back. So what I'm trying to say there is, you know, you can just be at that point where you know, you're just about to make a breakthrough because you've held on for that long, and instead of us kind of hanging on, we just give up. We just let it go. And I just want to say, like, if it is anyone actually listening today who is at that point of saying, oh, do you know what, this is long, forget it, I would advise that you hold on just that bit longer, because you never actually know that 1 minute, that 1 second longer could just be your testimony. It can just actually transform your life. And you know, the way I see certain things is, God wouldn't bring you halfway. He wouldn't bring you this far just to leave you and let you go and make, you know, let you do it by yourself. So I think it's a matter of chin up, chest out, I got this,
and just go for it. Yeah, kind of what you said. I read a book, I think it was by Devin Franklin, and he was saying the same thing. You know, that a lot of times we can be an inch away from what we want, but because of pressure, because of stress, because of people talking, or because of how people are perceiving us, we give up and we don't do it. And that inch could have been 1 minute,
mate. It's so
it could have been a second, but because of something that maybe someone said, you're like, I'll forget it. This is long. This ain't me. This ain't for me. Blah blah blah. You know, and we do have to hang on, because hope is important. Hope is important, and hope is what you need to be able to get through those hard times, because it's not always going to be easy.
No,
it's not. But there is a reason why you are going through what you are going through. So it's just remembering that and then hanging on, and then in a second later you get what you need.
If you couldn't handle it, you won't be going through it, man.
Exactly.
Just hold on, guys, we're going to play you this song, and yeah, we're going to be speaking next to our special guest. Don't forget, guys, you can get involved as radio MTG, #HappyHourMTG. Let us know what you think, or send a text to 079 449 77737.